Hey everyone, it's Jasmine with Blakely Skincare. Welcome to my channel. And I'm basically here just to teach you everything I know about skincare. I had a pretty successful business back in 2020. I learned a lot, made a lot of mistakes, made a lot of wins. And so I'm just here basically to share a little bit of what I know about products with you. Today we're going to be making my strawberry swirl soft body buttercream. Here's a few footnotes that I always add in the beginning about the phases, kind of what they are. They give you the recipe, and so tell you what to do with them. Short description. And here's my disclaimer. You can pause to read. And so here's phase A that we talk about, basically heating the ingredients through. You're going to have phases throughout any recipe or formula that you do. So this is my emulsifier, being that this is an emulsified recipe. That's BTMS 50. It's conditioning. It's a pretty good, stable emulsifier that has like a soft powdery feel. And speaking of soft powdery feel, this is my butter of choice, which is Kokum butter. It's a dry, crumbly type of butter that also leaves the skin with a soft, powdery type finish at the end, and is non-comedogenic, so it won't clog your pores. This here we have our castor oil. I think actually this is our safflower. We use two oils, castor and safflower. It's a clear oil. Let's pretend like this is safflower, okay? I believe it is. So safflower is a clear type of oil, again, non-comedogenic, pretty easy to get your hands on. I love it as a carrier oil. It's just a good all-around stable oil that also feels awesome on the skin. And then so last but not least, we do have our castor oil there. And yep, that's definitely it, because although it's clear, castor oil is very thick. It's a thick type of oil that's generally used in hair care to make the hair thicker. It won't make hair grow on the body though like that. It's just very emollient and soft. It's great when added into a body butter, especially when you have those kind of drier powdery type finish ingredients. It gives you a balance of like deep penetrating moisture. And this is going to go onto a double boiler to melt all the way through. And then here I have my phase B water ingredients. All water soluble ingredients are going to go here. So if you have water soluble colors or any sort of additives that you would dissolve in water, you're going to want to put them into this phase. And then this is the vegetable glycerin that gives us an extra added boost of conditioning and softness. It's a humectant. So honey could also go into this phase, but vegetable glycerin is kind of like the more formula friendly, easy to balance ingredient, if you will. And so I just go ahead and add it in there. And if you use too much, it'll be sticky, but it should be dissolvable in water, as you can see here when I mix it in. And what I love about adding vegetable glycerin to my recipes like this is that it gives you those humectant values. And this is what makes it really a lot better, in my opinion, than a traditional body butter, because it has those hydrating values that really hydrate your skin, not just have oil sitting on top. And then so here you're going to pour your heated phase into the water phase. And it's going to be able to mix together well because of the fact that you're going to use an emulsifier. So you're going to be able to bind those oils and waters. Now, some people do heat up the water phase. You can heat it up. I personally did not. I decided to go with a as long as it's room temperature and not cold, I found that it's okay that it will mix. But if it is too cold, like if you have the AC on or something, it can have a little bit of trouble mixing. Sometimes it might not bind as well, especially if you use Olive M1000 as opposed to BTMS 50. I really haven't had too many issues with BTMS 50, but for sure when it comes to Olive M1000, I have found that occasionally, depending on where I get my Olive M from, I have to go ahead and heat it. And so you're going to mix it in. Now, the cool thing is, like, I would say similar to body butter, you really are going to see the finished result in the next day. Okay, so you can see mostly what it's going to be like as soon as you're done mixing. And while you're mixing, you'll begin to see everything thicken up. You want to make sure to use an immersion blender, by the way, I should note, because you can use a hand mixer, but oftentimes it doesn't quite emulsify all the way if you use a hand mixer, and you might add in too much air, which can cause deflation, and it'll just kind of make your product look icky once the customer gets to it and opens it, or even if you just open it later, it doesn't look too good. So I like to use an immersion blender and just mix it around. Even when mixing it around, you want to be conscious not to, go too crazy with it and add too much air. And it should thicken, but it is made relatively more quickly than a regular body butter. And so in this phase, these are the fragrances that I use. I'm also going to be adding in the preservative here, which is going to be Germall Plus. But I wanted to go for a very, now the one that I use here, okay, it is probably the most realistic strawberry smelling fragrance that I have personally gotten my hands on, and it's available on Amazon. It smells amazing. And then I use Birthday Cake because it has a lot of like sweet vanilla notes, and I mix these two together and it smells amazing. It does smell, it's very reminiscent to it is like a strawberry ice cream because it's like sweet and vanilla, but it's also very reminiscent of like those strawberry and cream lifesavers, if you ever had those. So it's a little bit of nostalgia smelling these. And what I like about this formula as opposed to my other one is the other one was a softer type of formula. It definitely it's very similar in its properties, except that one was made with shea butter. So if you have drier skin, definitely you can switch the butter out to shea, cocoa butter. Even though cocoa butter is a little bit comedogenic, it's nice and hard, so you should have a lot of the same texture. But this one is, because of the hardness of the butter that I chose, it's very thick. And it's like a buttercream that is very close to like a body butter type of deal here. So it's very much get like the best of both worlds. You get the properties of a body butter, which is like that whipped silky skin type of feeling. And this is the end result of our lotion here, but it does still thicken up a little bit more. Like, this is still pretty fresh. It is going to thicken up a little bit more and just be like a rich, almost pudding custard type of texture, and it smells amazing. I'm just going to do a little bit of texture play for you guys, and then in the end I'm going to show you a texture result, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.